everyone, and welcome to Talking Over Tea. We wanted to share our spring TBR, but we thought it would be a little more fun and a little more interesting if we picked each other's books. We each picked 5, mostly from the library books we already had out. We're just going to talk about them a little and share the books that we picked.
So we do not know what the other person picked for each other, but at least I tried to pick some things that I knew she might want to read, especially since she had them out from the library. But I did know there was a few library books she wasn't wanting to read as much, so I tried to be nice here and pick ones she was actually interested in. So the first book I have is The Seventh Son. I honestly don't know what this is about. I don't really know what any of these are about. Do you know? What do you know about it?
Yeah, I don't really know anything about it either. I've just seen it on Instagram, so I just got it to try.
So what I just read from the synopsis, it says that this guy, his dad, I think, rules the sun, and now he has to, or something like that, and the sun is fading. I don't really know what it's about, but it sounded kind of interesting, and I've also heard about it. So.
Yeah, I just got this one at the library. I've seen a lot of good reviews on it. I think it's something that I've probably never read before. So the first book I picked for Amelia is Closer to Nowhere by Ellen Hopkins. I have absolutely no idea what this is. I just read the Goodreads description. This book is written in free verse, so it's not really... I don't understand what that means exactly.
So, from my understanding, it's basically kind of like poetry, but like not trying to sound like poetry, just a book with short sentences.
Yeah, so it looks like this. It is about a girl who has a great life, but then her cousin comes to stay with her and things kind of change and her life gets turned upside down. This kind of sounded to me like a book Amelia would like. I mean, she did pick it out at the library. I don't know if I would read it. I don't know if I would ever like free verse, but I think it sounds interesting and I thought Amelia would like that.
The next book that I picked for Maddie was Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. This is by Kate Douglas Wiggin. So I haven't really heard of this book before, but Maddie has owned this for a super long time, and I thought it was about time she read it, and I didn't think she would if I didn't make her. I know that this is definitely a classic, and I thought Maddie might need something a little bit more lighthearted to go on this TBR. Are you shocked that I picked this?
I am actually. I'm very shocked. I would never have imagined. I didn't know what you were going to pick from my shelf. And with the same lighthearted note, I picked The Door in the Wall by Marguerite D'Angeli. Again, this is a book that I had never heard of. It's about a boy named Robin in medieval London. His dad is off at war and his mom is traveling with the queen, and all the servants have fled the house, so he's all alone. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I know about it. I thought it would just be like a sweet little story to read in spring.
I feel like I usually just read the more well-known classics or older books, so I wanted to branch out a little and read more obscure ones. I don't know how obscure this was, but I've never heard of it, so yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that one. Next, I picked A Peculiar Peril by Jeff Vandermeer. Okay, so we were at the library and Maddie just found this book, and I thought it had a pretty interesting looking cover. Yeah, I'm just interested in seeing what she thinks of this. It's also quite large, so I tried to pick her some shorter ones as well. From what I know, this is about a guy who inherits a mansion from his grandfather, and it turns out that it leads to another world or something along those lines. I wasn't entirely certain she would read this if I didn't put it up.
I don't really remember why I got it. It was at a time when I was just getting books at the library. Probably mostly just because of the cover. I thought it looked like something I might read, but it's very long, and I have been not really wanting to read long books just because they take a long time, and that's kind of stupid, but I would like to read long books. So I think this one's going to be strange. It even says on the back, this book is not normal, so find out what that means. Okay, next I picked The Strangers by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I read the synopsis on Goodreads and it actually sounded pretty interesting. There's 3 children who hear about these other 3 children that have the same names and like have similar personalities to them that were kidnapped. So they're trying to like figure out this mystery and they find clues and puzzles and things to help them solve it. So I thought that was interesting. I also read that this was kind of inspired by this article. There's a lady who read an article about 3 children who died in a car crash, and mom had the same name as the mom whose kids died, and then her kids had like the same names as the kids who died. Sounded kind of interesting and probably a little boring. So it's perfect for you.
I'm glad you picked this one because I'm almost certain I wouldn't have read this. Next, I picked Bloom by Kenneth Opel. Maddie's also had this one out for a long time, and I was hoping, it said it was a page turner, so I was hoping this one might help her to stay on track a little bit after giving her a 630 page book. This book is about a plant plague, and there are 3 kids who are immune to it. That's pretty much all I know. I read a book by this author and liked it, so I thought this one would hopefully be at least decent.
I also read a whole series by this author that I really liked, so that was the only reason I picked this book up, was because I had read other books by him. I haven't read a dystopian that I liked in a long time, so hopefully this one will be good. I picked Crazy Dangerous by Andrew Clavin. So this is about Sam, who is kind of getting mixed up with some bad characters. But he defends a girl named Jennifer from some thugs, and he kind of drifts away from the bad life. But Jennifer is very strange, and they become friends, and there is something about demons, and she can say, like, she sees prophecies or something. I don't really know what it's about. I was trying to find something that was a little bit more intense, because I picked some kind of slow books.
So I got this at the library kind of just on a whim because I'd heard of it before and always kind of wanted to try something by this author, though I wasn't sure if I would like it or not. I'm excited to try it because it seems kind of out of the ordinary of what I would normally read. I don't always like contemporaries, so we'll see how this goes. Next, I picked Early Sunday Morning, which is a Dear America book. This one is during Pearl Harbor. I did not look at it at all, but I thought I would pick a shorter one for her.
I feel like I've read this one before, a very long time ago. I have vague memories of reading a World War II Dear America book, but I don't remember it. But I did want to read more Dear America books since I read the last one, when we read all those children's books. Okay, and then the last book I picked for Amelia is The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow. This is based off of Pride and Prejudice, and it's about Mary. From what I know, it kind of just reimagines Mary's story and kind of adds a lot to it.
So I have heard a lot of good things about this one, and I have been wanting to read it. They just never had it at the library, and I've looked for it so many times, so I finally decided to put it on hold. I'm really interested in seeing what this one's like, since I've never really read any modern Jane Austen kind of things that people have written. So that was all we picked for this spring TBR. We're not guaranteeing that we'll be reading all of these just because we did pick them for each other and it might not be exactly what we want to read at that time. Our TBRs always change a little bit and they're never like all of the books we read for the allotted time we've picked. But yeah, this was really fun and I liked seeing everything that Maddie picked, and I also liked to pick hers even though that was a little bit hard. We want to thank you for watching this video and see you in our next post.